This is page 3 of worksheet 4. So the next thing where it's asking us to do is we want to be able to find the x and y intercepts and use them to graph the line. So in this case, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the x and y intercepts. So this part of this learning target is actually a review from last chapter, or from the last unit. So in this case, the x-intercept, well, that's the x value when y is 0. So in this case, if we rewrite this, this is going to be 2x plus 3 times 0, because the x value when y is 0, equals negative 6. So in this case, we're left with 2x equals negative 6. So we should be getting x is equal to negative 3, because 6 divided by 2 is just negative 3. So as an ordered pair, remember, so when we talk about x and y intercepts, these are always going to be in ordered pairs, because these are the points where my graph actually crosses my x and y axis. So in this case, x was negative 3 when y is 0. So as an ordered pair, x is negative 3 when y is 0. So then now all I have to do is find my y-intercept. So my y-intercept on my graph, that's the y value when x is 0. So really, again, if you want, you could do the cover-up. When I plug in 0 for x, that's actually going to go away. And I'm left with 3y equals negative 6. So dividing by 3, I'm actually going to get y is equal to negative 6 divided by 3 is a negative 2. So in this case, as an ordered pair, that's the y value when x is 0. So x is 0 and y is negative 2. So now that I have my x and y intercepts, now the next part of this is actually using them to graph the line. So if I'm going to actually do, if all I'm going to do is plot those, so at negative 1, 2, 3, I have my x-intercept, and at 0, negative 2, I'm going to have my y-intercept. And now, so all the next step is just graph the line, because I only really need 2 points to graph the line. So from here, and you would have a straight edge, but that's kind of hard for me to do on here. So we would actually just connect those 2 points and extend the line. So again, guys, we could actually go to a table of values and go back to our original equation and kind of go from there. But in this case, all we're going to do is actually, this is a little bit simpler than actually going back and finding those values. So again, more review. So in this case, again, we're going to find our x-intercepts on number 23. So on our x-intercepts, that's the x value when y is 0. So if y is 0, my negative 2y is going to go away, and I'm left with 5x equals 10. So simplifying, dividing by 5, 10 divided by 5, that's just going to be negative 2. So as an ordered pair, I'm going to have x to be 2, 0. And now my y-intercept, this is the y value when x is 0. So my 5x, when I plug in 0, is going to go away. I'm left with negative 2y equals 10. And then dividing by negative 2, we're going to be left with y is equal to negative 5. So as an ordered pair, that's going to be the point 0, negative 5. So now that I have my x and y intercept, now I can actually go to my graph and plot those. So the point 2, 0 is right here. And my y-intercept is at 0, negative 5. So I'm going to go 0 and then down 5. So my line would be somewhere from here. And then now I just have to connect my points. And my graph is off, but your answer will actually be a straight line through those 2 points. So continuing on. Now we're looking at 24. So 24, again, we want to find our x and y intercepts. So to find my x-intercepts, I'm going to plug in 0 for y. So we're going to be left with 6x equals negative 12. And then my last step is to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 6. So we're going to be left with x is equal to Negative 12 divided by 6 is going to be a negative 2. So as an x-intercept, that's going to be the point negative 2, 0. And my y, so that's going to the y value when x is 0. So if x is 0, all of this is going to go away. And I'm left with, careful, keep the negative with it. The negative 4y is equal to negative 12. So then dividing by negative 4, I'm going to be left with, this is going to be negative 12 divided by negative 4. So a negative divided by a negative is going to end up being a positive, and 12 divided by 4 is just going to be 3. So again, as an ordered pair, that's the point 0, 3. So plotting those on my graph, I'm going to go to negative 2, 0. That's going to be right here. And the point 0, 3, that's left and right none, but up 3. So that's right here. So then my last step is just to connect those and actually draw my line. Alright, last but not least, we want to find our x and y intercepts on number 25. So for my x-intercepts, that's the x value when y is 0. So that's going to go away. And we are going to be left with 2x is equal to 20. And from here, we want to divide by 2. So 20 divided by 2, that's just going to be 10. So again, as an ordered pair, that's going to be the point 0 or 10, 0. And now my last step on this equation is actually to find my y-intercept. So to do that, I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So when I do that, my 2x is going to go away. And I'm left with negative 5y is equal to 20. So now dividing by negative 5, I'm going to be left with y is equal to 20 divided by negative 5 is going to be negative 4. So again, my y-intercept is going to be at the point 0, negative 4. So plotting those on my graph again, x-intercept is 10, 0. So 10, 0 is over here. And my y-intercept is at 0, negative 4. So I'm going left or right none, and I'm going down 4. So that's right there. And again, last step is to actually draw our line. So we should have a line looking like something like that. Okay. So graphing equations using x and y intercepts is one way we can do it. The other way we learned the other day was actually to use slope-intercept form in order to do it. So in this case, it's in the directions. We actually want to get our equation into slope-intercept form before we can do anything. So in this case, my y is not alone. So I need to subtract x from all sides. And I'm going to be left with a negative y is equal to negative x minus 2. In my last step, my y is not alone. There's technically a negative 1 out in front. So I need to divide everything by negative 1. So negative 1 divided by negative 1, that's just going to make that positive. So we're going to be left with y is equal to negative x divided by negative 1. That's going to be a positive x. And then negative 2 divided by negative 1, that's just going to be a positive 2. So this guy's right here, this is what we want in slope-intercept form. So y equals x plus 2. So in slope-intercept form, that's what that looks like. So now this is where I actually have to go to use this and graph it. So to do that, we want to use the last part. So this is the b plus b on y-intercept form. And that's my y-intercept. So I'm going to go, in this case, since it's my y-intercept, I'm going to go up 2. And then I say, okay, well from this point, this is where I look at the slope. So out in front of my x, I technically have a 1 out in front. Or in this case, a 1 over 1. So this is telling me I'm rising 1 and running 1. So I'm going to rise and run from my y-intercept. So again, rise 1, run 1. That's going to be here. And you could do I at least suggest doing a couple of points. So just like I could go up 1 and over 1, I could go down 1 and back 1. And I could still get the rest of my line. So then drawing a line through all of your points, the graph of this line actually looks something like this. Okay, so slope-intercept form again is just getting it to be in the y equals form. So looking at 27, again, this one is not y equals, so it's not in slope-intercept form yet. We have to get it there. So dividing by 3, My 3's are going to cancel on the left side, and we're going to be left with y equals. So in front of my x, there's technically a 1 there. So if I divide, that's going to be 1 over 3. And then keeping my x there. And then my last term is negative 6 divided by 3. That's just going to be negative 2. So again, now I have this is where I have y by itself. So this is slope-intercept form. So my slope-intercept form is going to be y equals 1/3 x minus 2. So from here, this is what I use to graph. So this negative 2 on the end, that tells me what my y-intercept is. So my y-intercept is going to be right here. I'm going to go down 2. And again, if it helps, you can write the y-intercept is the y value when x is 0. So as an ordered pair, my y-intercept would be 0, negative 2. So I'd go down 2. And then this is where I now use my slope. So from my y-intercept, now I'm going to go rise 1 because my slope is rise over run. So I'm going to rise 1 and I'm going to run 3 and plot my next point. So again, we could keep going rise 1, run 3. Or if you want, you could go down 1 and back 3. Either one works. And again, from here now, I just have to draw my line. So that's what the graph of 3y equals x minus 6 actually looks like. So guys, this is the end of page 4. So page 5 is coming soon. Stay tuned.